Brayden and Cane's team up is one that I think everybody is looking forward to, but what wasn't in the script was Trace Weston being in the middle, and neither Riley Merchant, Cooper Sax's niece. And with Power having a history of snitches, it's only a matter of time till we see another. I'm talking all about who could be a snitch and what the consequences could be. So welcome back to MovieBot. Let's talk about Power Book 2 Ghost and Snitches. So hope you're all doing great and welcome to another storyline breakdown video, this time talking all things Brayden, related in the terms of his brother Trace and Riley, because even though Trace was caught up with Cane and Brayden, Riley is still in play, and if you've missed any of my previous videos, then I'll link them down below, and if you're new to the channel, you haven't done so already, remember to smash the subscribe button. But let's talk all about snitches, because there is no doubt that one of these two are gonna snitch. It's either Riley or Trace. Actually, you could throw Jabari in there too, because he does find the course correct app as well, so maybe Jabari could be thrown into the mix. I'll talk a bit about Jabari later as well. But let's start with Riley, then I'll talk about Trace and then move on to Jabari. But with Riley, she's heavily involved in episode 6 after Sax told her to stay away from Stansfield, stay away from Brayden and Tariq, and that was her job done. He didn't want her going anywhere near Tariq or Brayden, and of course, she wasn't going to listen to Sax, was she? She said that she loved Brayden and she's way too deep into this now for her to go anywhere. Not quite as deep as Trace though, and I'll come to how deep Trace is in this situation, but Riley, she's also in deep. She spent most of that episode with Tariq at Stansfield in their room, they were playing chess, and I referenced to Tariq's jacket in the mid-season trailer, and it was pretty obvious to say that Diana wouldn't be interrupting Tariq and Lauren, but instead he'd be interrupting Tariq and Riley, and this is exactly what happened and exactly what played out. Diana headed over to Stansfield after talking to Drew. She made a quick pit stop to go and see Tariq while Diana was giving Tariq an earful outside. Now this is the moment we can't forget about, because it was this moment where Monet messaged Tariq saying we need to talk. I'm sure it was Monet anyway, but we can't ignore the fact that Riley had taken a picture of the message that Monet sent to Tariq while Tariq was outside with Diana, along with a phone number, and later on in that episode at the very end, we saw Sax was getting an earful from Steven Ott, and he was looking at the picture that Riley sent him, and now shit is really about to get real, because if Sax runs this number, links it to Monet, then he's going to start putting all the pieces together. He's going to do everything he can do to crush Tariq and Monet's business. And this message is something we can't forget about. It could well come back into play unless this phone was a burner and it's just something to throw us off. But Riley's loyalty seems to be with Brayden and not Tariq. We had Riley tell Sax that Brayden isn't involved in any of this, and she's going to prove to him that Brayden isn't involved in anything. And no doubt at some point she's going to find out, and it's only a matter of time, and then we'll see how loyal she actually is to Brayden. Something else that happened in the episode was when Tariq walked in on Riley, she gave him his book back, and when he went to put it in the drawer, the piece that Cane gave Tariq was right there. Now when Tariq opened the drawer and covered it up, Riley was way on the other side of the room, and if she did notice it, then she would have probably sent a picture to Sax like she did with the message, so I don't think she actually noticed this gun. But anyway, personally I hope Riley turns on Sax, but she's already going down the route of a snitch, and if and when she does find out what Brayden is really into, and if she snitches to Sax, then she's gotta go. Some would argue that she's gotta go already, but I really hope that when she does find out what Brayden and Tariq are into, she helps them, and she does come across like someone who is, if thrown enough money her way, she might actually join Tariq and Brayden. But if she does snitch, I think this could well be the turning point for Brayden's character, because we've seen the team up with Cane, and we've seen what he's done to a snitch before with Uncle Frank in the second episode. Dispatched him and chopped his body up, and now Brayden will be hanging around with Cane a lot more, and if Riley does snitch, then Brayden's got a decision to make, because Riley may not snitch on Brayden, but she could snitch on Tariq, and then we're really going to see where Brayden's loyalty lies, and no doubt it will lie with Tariq. Brayden will definitely not take Riley's side. I can't see him doing so, and if he does have to kill Riley, it's going to be reminiscent of when Tommy had to kill Holly, and we could well see a similar thing play out between Brayden and Riley. But what about Trace, because he's another character that's in too deep, and I mentioned it earlier that Trace in my opinion is actually deeper in than Riley. He was caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time when Cane finally entered Stansfield, because he shoved a gun right down Trace's throat, and he didn't just take Brayden with him to Queens, he took Trace too, dropped him off at a corner and told him to sell, and we all know how that ended up. He got his ass beat down, and until Brayden stepped in because he's soft, he definitely isn't built for this. Brayden is, but Trace, he definitely is not built for the game, and he's bad for business. He's bad for Brayden, and he doesn't need a brother like him if he's really going to be entering the game, because Trace is only going to bring him down and bring him some unwanted heat. Now Ramirez pulled Cane over to tell him that he's done for the night, took Brayden and Trace back to Stansfield just to make sure they don't say shit. Brayden understood the severe situation that they were in, and there's no way they could snitch or tell anyone, but Trace, he was about to squeal like a little bitch, and technically to him, he doesn't believe that he was snitching. He actually feels that he was kidnapped, and out of Riley and Trace, I feel Trace is more likely to talk, and honestly it's only a matter of time before he does, and I think it's just a matter of when and then who could take him out. But one thing I don't quite understand is why Brayden didn't tell Tariq that Trace was taken to Queens with them, because they seem to be missing key shit out between them, and they really can't be missing this sort of information out, because Tariq needs to know that Trace was there, because now Trace knows way too much information now and he's a liability. And no doubt episode 8, which is titled Family First, we're gonna see Brayden's sister. So could this be the episode where we really see something going down with Trace, because they seem to be really building his character up in episode 6. And Brayden, sooner or later, he's gonna have a decision to make at some point. At some point, either Riley or Trace is gonna snitch, and it could be both of them. And if, for example, Cane was to kill Trace, Trace can't just go missing. His surname Weston has a certain power and his family are well known, so Cane can't do what he did with Uncle Frank to Trace. I really hope that if Trace does snitch, he does have to go, but I hope it's his own brother Brayden who makes the kill. Now, I've previously spoken about a father and son killing theme in the original Power series, and I wonder whether we could see a brother killing on Power Book 2 Ghost with Brayden and Trace. But as I said before, it's not as simple as killing Trace and making his body disappear. He's a Western. Ramirez knows this, and Monet knows this now too, so they have a problem. They wouldn't have any problems dispatching Trace, but him being a Western is the problem. But let's talk a little about Jabari, because he's also another one who could well be brought into the frame along with Riley and Trace, because in the mid-season trailer, we saw him finding the course correct app and he's questioning Tariq and telling him he's up to something, and we're yet to see this, maybe in the next episode, which is most likely because we never saw Jabari at all in episode 6. And what about the audacity about Jabari telling Tariq that he's hiding something when he's stealing his work? He has some nerve. Now, one good thing about the course correct app is nobody knows the face behind the app apart from Brayden and Tariq. Diana, Drew and Monet now too, and well, Simon's stern husband Sebastian, who I think we'll see in the last half of the season again. But could Jabari find out that Tariq is behind course correct? Because if he does, then I think that puts him in danger, because it puts Tariq's business at risk. That means it puts Monet's business at risk. So if he causes any issues, if he was to cause any problems, and if he ever thought about snitching on Tariq, which I don't think Jabari will do, his character description is all about being a father figure to Tariq, but if he does put Tariq and Monet's business at risk, then he really is in trouble, and I'm sure Monet won't have any problems in dispatching Jabari, because if he causes any problems, and this is one kill that I hope that happens, I really hope Jabari is killed off in the last few episodes, and I really hope it's Tariq who pops him. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Who could snitch on Tariq or Brayden, and what could the consequences could be? Could we see Brayden kill either Trace or Riley, or could we see Cane be the one to kill either of them? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, remember to smash the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.